I am a little early. Sometimes it is not easy to be silent when there is a situation going on. Actually, it's a geometric shape because it's an area space that's occupied by letters. So what's the letters? Well, the letter is THREE. That's the letter. Oh, what's the next letter? Well, it's SIX. Well, you mean 3 and 6? I go, yeah, but you're writing it as a number or a letter. So all the boxes, right, that you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me correct this. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But 1, see the way we have to design it following the outside and the inside? But I can't go, I don't know how high, right, without guessing. The other one I can practically mirror, right? I was only missing a few pieces to mirror it. See, sometimes we don't have to write down the whole equation. So if this is number 1, it equals to 34. Number 2 equals to 58. Number 3 equals to 56. 4 equals to 60. 5 is 42. And 6 is 52. And 7 is 65. And 8 is 49. And 9 is 42, just like 5. 7, 6, 6. Now we can also go for the multiplication. The multiplication would be what? There is no multiplication, but now there's multiplication in here. First, we're going to go to the single axis of 7, 13, 11, 6, 8, 7, 11, 13, and 6. Do you notice that these two are the same and these two are the same? Okay, you notice these two are the same, 7, 7, 6, 6. Now in numbers, what happens in the Mayan counting their years, what happens is their gear system, it connects the 7 and 6 as 13. This is their gear range, and 6 and 7 equaling to 20. Okay, I don't know all the numbers. If I had them with me, if I knew everything, I can tell you the whole story, but I don't. I pick it up day by day. I remember from the past, bring it into the future. Every time I pick up a new piece of the puzzle, I continue on and add on to the story or twist the story because I may have been going off the wrong way. Like I always say, Earth is 2 and Mars is the 1 dot, when it can actually be Mercury the 1 dot, right? The dot, right? The dot, and then Earth, right, is actually not the dot, but the line. The numeric value for Earth and for Mars, because Earth is 5 and 2 and Mars is 5 and 1. I can also do that. So now we're starting to see something else. Now, how would I get these two lines? I get one here, one here. How can I get that one line? Well, I can put that one line in between two lines. So now this Earth telling me it's these two, or is Earth telling me that Mars is in between the pillars? So if I create this, the only way to strike through it is this way. Now, if I create this one, the only way to create it is this way. So if I overlap with them, I actually do that for Earth. That means this area here goes with Earth, an Earth number. Now, if I'm going with Mars, it's the center. Now, is it the center this way of the area, or is Mars divided like that? Here's the cube, and Mars gets to be divided by the window. So we'd have 4 area windows for Mars. We have 9 areas for Earth. A, B, C, D, 4. Now, if we started with the other hand, just give me a second. Now, if I started with the other hand, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Mars and Earth come together as 4 and 9. It becomes the ring and the pole. Here's the pole, and we put the ring on it. The ring becomes the 7th gate. What does that mean, all that? Has to be discussed with all the professionals, those who know more about numbers, those who know about the zodiac. Everything that's ever been done in this world is another piece to the greatest puzzle ever created. Actually, it wasn't a puzzle before, it was natural creation, but nobody knew the story until you can put all the pieces together that creates the puzzle. It's not really a puzzle. It's not really a puzzle, but it's the pieces that create a puzzle of a story that's already been created right in front of our eyes. So now we have Earth and Mars. Now the thing is, when we create these areas like this, let me see if I can put more light on it. Just trying to see it. Okay, I don't even know. It looks a little blurry. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So when we come over here, what it is 7 and 6, 13, 4 and 3, 7, and you invert it 9 and 4, 13, 6 and 1, 7. And now when you look down here, okay, 3 and 4, 7, we create this over here. 5 and this will become 5 and 1, Mars. And then this one over here will create 55, Freedom Pass, Electric Company, and Birth creates Pluto. 1 and 2 times 4 becomes 8 and 4. 29 and 55 equals to 84. 2 and 9 equals to 11. 5 and 5 equals to 10. 21 times 4 equals to 84. 4 cubes, 21 dots times 4 equals to 84. Divided by 3 equals to 28. The 28 man cycles. Does anybody know why? And when it comes 28, 4 by 7, man becomes the mirror. Man becomes the opposite of what creation is. 4 times 2 equals to 8, or the 80. 420s, the French expression for 80 is 80, sane 420s. There are 3 moons. This is a little bit too dark, right? There are, let me see if I can fix something else here, color intensity or something. Yeah, maybe that. Okay, so there are 4 cubes. I need 4 of these cubes to create 84. Now, is 84 what? 84 is perfect. You have a 7 and a 14. The opposite sides, 7. All opposite sides is 7. When it's sitting like this, you have 14 around, 7 up and down, even though 1 is on its ass, right? This will actually say, since 2 down, it'll be 3. And with the 1 up and the 6 down, it'll be 5. It'll use these letters. It'll say ace, sun up. 6 minus 1 equals E5. 5 minus 2 equals C3. And 4 minus 3 equals A1. Otherwise, it's GGG. So the 21 dots, 7 and 14 equals to 21, and 7 equals to 28. We have a 14 left over. Now we use this dice again. We used it twice now. 28 and 14 is 42. The third time is a 7 and 14. Since I have a 14 extra, plus a 14 to the next dice equals to my second moon. Now I'm going to have 7 extra. So I can start either with 14 or 7 because I cannot complete it. And I'll add up the complete cube in the next one, and it'll equal 84. So it took 4 cubes of 21 to create the 3 cycles of the moon, in which 3 and 4 is the invert of each other, the invert of female and male. So here, more or less, they're talking about Mars, and now they're talking about Venus, except this one is within inside of it. Or would you count this one? Men are from Mars and the women are from Venus. So if you flip over the dice, you end up with 3 and 5. And they create each other. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2 and 1, 3. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 equals 2 and 3, 5. So we established that how Pluto comes to be, and in the French language, they say 80 by saying 420s. And the setup for even our time clock is where we have the 60 seconds, and then we ask ourselves, well, why don't we have 100? And now you're talking there's only 80. You need a base value. It's like, where am I going to put the groceries? Where I put the groceries in the bag. So I always need an extra area space. I have the bag. Well, the bag equals 9. And now you fill it up. It's 9 plus whatever's in the bag. So A, B, C equals to 60 plus D equals to 40. You now have 100. So you're actually starting with the 40 on top of the 60, time in time. But we're sort of running off time. We're running from a different cycle. That's what it would show. That's what this shows me over here. So we're running from a different cycle. We're actually coming in with the 9 birth. And we come in with the 1 spirit into the house of Bate. 9, 10, 11, 12. Since 1 and 2, 1 is between 2, we always have to go 3 and 9. And that is your first 12. Your second 12 is 4 and 8, which is in Pluto, which is 4 times. And the next one equals to 5 and 7. And that becomes male and female inside the moon, connected by 6. And number 6 goes right here. And the other 6 goes right here, connecting 5775. Electric company in the moon becomes, you can look at this 2 ways. Have you ever heard, I mean, you have to understand games, all the games. I don't know them all. I know in craps, 7 come 11, 7 come 11, 7, 7, 7. What is 7? What is 5? I'm losing my trend of thought. The reason I call this electric company moon is because the word moon is number 57, the word electric, and there are other words, as 75. It's also DC. The reason it's DC because 75 can also be used as 3/4, and you'd be using it as 0.75%. So that would be what is 75. So what is G and E becomes D and C, like General Electric. What do you call it? DC is direct current or alternate current. Now we're going to bring it down to the single digit count of 19 and 25 equals to 44. And what I did here is I divided this by 3 and I divided this one by 3. Should I do this one? It makes a whole lot of other equations. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, it's running around. Meow, meow. Hi, how you doing? Oh, let's pull the cat's tail. I hope the cats are okay. Woo. You ever see this, the snake? Okay. I'm going to not get lost. So 11 is changed to 12. So 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 will be 1 and 2, but does that necessarily say it's 12? Now 12 has been barred. 7 come 11. I'd have to flip. Oh, and you put the 7 months down. So that works out absolutely perfect. That's the exact pitch of the crap table where they're calling out 7 come 11, bar the 12. That's the exact words they put out there. And it's not about Atlanta. It's really I wrote it for a different reason. I don't know anything about Atlanta. I'm just hoping somebody would just say anything. A place. I came on here early because I had I just things kept matching, and if I don't share what I see right away, I tend to lose it, even though I can hardly can present it. Oh, that maybe that's a little bit better. Light, say. So let me get back and not let me get lost here. So what happens is this area here and this area here are 66. Now there's root 66 that was changed for I-80. So I-80, okay, or the 8 goes right over here. The 8 takes up both of 6 and 6 and overlays onto the 7. So I would believe that your 8, your heaven, is what's connecting your two sides. Because gematria, you count up in gematria. So you count 1, 3, 5, 7. Or where did 4 and 6 go? Where did 2 and 4 go? Well, 2 connects 1 and 3. It's a half area. And 4 connects 3 and 5. So A, C, E is connected by B and D. 4 and 2 connects what is 1 and 5. And 5 and 1 is Mars, and 42 is the what is going to create and what is the word 9. The word 5. That's all we know. I don't know any more than that right now. I just know the stories that come along. Why? Because the word FIVE equals to 42, and the word NINE equals to 42, and because the word cat equals to 42, and the mathematic is 8 and 6. And now that's where the house divides, on 8 and 6, not because of me. Nothing to do with me. Only my perception, and I could be at fault. It's because of these, or this, or this, or this. Nothing that I created. Zero. I created nothing. Okay, now 8 and 3, that's very special because that's like one of the most special numbers in the world. 8 and 3. 1 times 1 equals to 1. 1 plus 1 equals to 2. 1 and 2 equals to 3. A, B equals to C. But to start with 1 and 1 in an order, it looks like 11. So now you get, call me a cab to creation. Watch my back. Just joking around. Now the other thing is 8 is 2 by 2, 2 plus 2 equals to 4, equals to 4. 4 and 4 equals to 8. 22nd letter in the game of crap, in the game of in blackjack, they're saying bust. And the only time you can bust on a pulling a card is when you have 12. Everything comes up to what is 12. That's what it seems like. Okay. If I did it and use it in equations in sports, it would tell me a story. Could be 12 minutes, could be 12 of anything. 8, 12, 8, 12, 96. Okay, now that 8, 12 is actually this month because if one equation with 8, 12 is 8 times 12, 8 times 12 equals to 96, and 8 times 11 equals to 88. There was one more. Yes, 7 times 12 equals to 84. They all have a relationship, all of these. There's always going to be a relationship because I'm going to find something because something fits somewhere. Every number goes with something. So, yeah, 93, 6 and 6 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, and 6 is 9. And that's where you get that 3, 6, 9. The 6, the 6 is like the frog. Like you would go 6, and then you would go 3, and then you would go 9. So in between here is 4 and 5, and in between here is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the next one over here, okay, you would have 6, because it's 6 plus 6 equals to 12. 1 plus 2 equals to 3. Plus 6 equals to 9. And now to turn it over to the other side, plus 6 equals to 15. 1 and 5 equals to 6. So now in between here, you would have 8 and 7. So now you have this equation that shows up. First, you had the 4, 5 on the left. Now you have the 8, 7 on the right. And it is the 6 that's dividing it all. Now, if you don't understand, you can ask me. I'll explain it to you. Because I can do that, I think. I just want to see my mouse is, let me see. Okay, first of all, let me go get my hot water in the kitchen. Hopefully I don't forget. By the way, I mean, I don't want to break it. I like to show things off. But when you come to this equation, I'm not sure if you understood it, right? I'd have to look over what I have to look something over. Just give me a second. 1 and 5. Because I already did this video somewhere else. Yeah, this over here equates to Pluto. Okay, equates to blackjack, equates to the cycle in the moon. At the same time, 365.47 is the days in the year. 22 lost for breaking out. Before you start anything, it took 22 to break out. And then everything starts with W, the W, or the 23rd letter. 2 times 3, 2 plus 3, 11. So 365.47 days. And then the memory and connection, 1, 2, 5, 5, 2, Earth. 5, 1 is Mars. 5 and 8, Silver Spirit Matrix. It's also 13. It's part of, let me see, the E-World Heavens connected in the moon. I have to try and figure the explanation of this out. But it says HIAB, H-I-A-B, HIAB. That's a word that has to be repeated in order to get this. And this is the invert of what is the year, and it's like a swastika. So let's be back in a second. Okay. Before I finish this, 1 times 5 equals 5. 1 plus 5 equals 6. 6 plus 5 equals to 11. 6 times 5 equals to 30, equals to 41, and the word is home, king. Those are my two that I can remember, home and king. Eventually, it's going to create the numeric system of IT, I add for myself system, and it would be the sun. So when you put it all together, I just say the sun suit because the letters are right here. And it's a passage because it creates the letters 5 and 4. 4 times 1, 4 plus 1 is 5 and 4. And the multiplication equals to 20 and 9, which are the letters T and I, or number 2 and 9, or 11, or 2. 803 hers. When I see 803 hers, I saw something else. 803 divided by 24 equals to 33, 45, 58. Just wanted to see what was going on with that. 38. Okay, forget it. We're going to use gold. We're going to say club. Words that go with that. The next number that comes out of that is going to create 8. So from 11, we will get 8. And 8 and 11 in roulette are connected to each other. And 2 and 8 is the cycle in the moon. And I'm going to tell you where I got that. Your 308 is 3 times 8. 3 plus 8 equals to 24, equals to 11 plus. So that's how I got that situation over here. Now, when you notice these two numbers come up, that'll be 6 and 2. So in creation comes along with the gate because the number 24 comes up with it. The total is number 35. That is your 11 and your 12. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 equals 1, and 2 equals to 3. And then 12 will be 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 equals to 2 equals to 3 equals to what is 5. And you can also look at it as this. And I like to refer to this as something part of the Mars system, or what is Venus Earth. So when I say that, I'm just going to take this off and put it on here for a second. Sometimes it's not really that it's my opinion, but it's part of what I'm told to say because of how the word links. The numeric value for Mars is actually 51. But I like to individualize the first and last letter. They're special for me, especially when it ends with an S, because the S is plural. So I don't really need it. I don't need to say more, but Mars is telling me it's more. Like there's many Mars areas, and it's not telling us about, like I kept saying Earth is on Mars when it's actually Mars is on Earth and we're inside one of them. And this is where Atlanta comes in, Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm going to get back to Atlantic, Georgia. It's really an easy thing, and I want to finish my numbers, and I'm also working on them at the same time, so I don't know the complete answers to it. But I just want to finish off with that one thing. I'll get to Atlanta in a minute. But that 3 and 8, or the C and the H, okay, you can actually say, have you ever heard about this? 1 second. Cache, computer's cache. What is cache in the computer? No, it doesn't work. Hold on. Computer cache. What is a cache? Pronounced cache. Hardware, software that is used to store something, usually data, temporarily computing. And the reason I say this is because when the letters go together, C and H, right? You say C, you can say search, you can say cache. So that's where C and H come together. That's the way you say H, that's C. So that's something to do with, I put it towards that piece of the puzzle, towards that computer, just like the IT system. 3 and 8, I'm just trying to remember what I was working. Yes, hockey. Montreal Canadiens, 1909. Irregardless, their shirt is C and H. Why hockey? Because what you're actually looking at here, okay, with 1 and 1 and 2 and 2, you're actually looking at 2 and 2 sides to when it's sitting up 1 and 1 side. So that would be standing up, it is 1/3 up and down, and that would be 7. And around would be 2/3, and that would be 14. So we'd have 7 and 7, 14 here. And then we'd have this one over here. Then we have 7 and 5 and 7 and 4, 2 of our equations. Actually, there's a bunch of equations in here. The sun, fox, pass. The student, connecting moon, and we're connecting energy. Time and energy. The numeric value for time and energy is 4774. The cross is 74 and Jesus is 74. The moon is 57 and Heinz is 57. And Heinz is a strong word. The reason it's a strong word because the H and I together the H and I together, right? The H and I. 1 second, I put H, and now I'm going to put I, so it creates a window. And now the N and the Z together, right, create the X. So you put the two star systems together, and this is where the dividing of the window. There's another way to divide the window. It's this way, but this is this reality. And this one, actually, if you take a look at it, I'm going to put it in order or out of order. M-A-R-S, Mars, reverse Heinz, 51 and 57. Mars 51, Heinz 57. And the mathematics of this will create the word time. Hour in French is 57. This one, I'm just not sure which way to go with it, but I don't want to go in too many directions. So I showed you this piece over here. The 3 and 5, the 2/3, the ring, when it goes on your finger, the 4th finger, but this is not only the 4th finger, this is also the 9th finger. When we count, I'm in 10 different directions. So if I start with the first finger, this first finger becomes first, it becomes 10th, it becomes 6th. I start on the other hand. Let me put back my little board here. So if I start on this hand as 5, and this one becomes 6. I start on this hand as 5, I'll turn this over like that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then this one becomes the 10th. I turn it this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it becomes the 6th. The 1st, the 6th, the 10th. Is it anything else? 5, 6, counting here. Oh, it's also the 5th. So this one is the 5th, this one is the 10th, this one is the 6th. It is also the 1st. So that's what it is. So if I go to this one over here, it becomes the 2nd. It becomes 5 and 2. It becomes the 7th. It can go 5, 6, 7, 8, and it becomes the 9th. What else does it become? 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It becomes the 2nd. It becomes the 4th. So what about, so these two and these two do the same. These 4 fingers do the same. It becomes here and here. The thumb and the pinky is here. And this one is going to refer to Mars. And this one is the index, is going to refer to Earth. Both the index and the ring finger and the thumb and the pinky. TP and the index and the ring. So we're into the sun, and here it's into the half-life gate, Mars. So what's this one over here? The center finger. Well, the center finger is 3rd. Well, the center finger is 8th. So if we go 5, 6, 7, 8, or I go 3, where else does it go? Can somebody calculate that for me? Hold on a second. Right, absolutely, absolutely. And I blow the ram's horn, absolutely, number 32. And it's actually what is, you know, when they say, like, you know, you always say the feds, right? Well, the M is the feds. Roman numeral 4, 5, and 6. Letters F, D, E, F. Position on your telephone. Whoa, hold on a second. The position on your telephone is right here on number 3. See over here? Well, it's DEF on number 3. So your creation of DEF or the feds is on number 3. So ABC 1, 2, 3, okay, is the altered education. In fact, we were counting down, and this was recreated for this planet. This is the way I see it. I'm going to try and explain it to you. The expressions in French tell us different positions in numbers. Nothing was created. It was created down and not up. It was created from a multitude of pieces and not just by 2 pieces. How can I explain that? The house is not actually there. You had the wood first, and just because you created structure, a geometric shape, you made your dots, your dashes, your lines, you put everything into order, you measured it, and you put it in order, and now we have the house. So I'd have to look over creation again, but irrelevant to the fact we're talking about the words. I'm going to get to Atlanta soon. I want to go get my hot water that I boiled like 20 minutes ago, just like I started my car 4 times today before I remembered to get outside. Just give me a minute. Yeah, so I mentioned Atlanta, and I've been going over this and repeating the same thing for years and years and years. Electric company, waterworks, boardwalk, Baltic, Mediterranean, Ventnor. Every single one of the monopoly pieces is telling a different story. I don't know the whole story, but I can tell you that the board size takes 88 cells to create. That you have one face. So to create a cubic board, and let's not talk about the inside of the board, because we have seen designs. And if you ever went to Robert Edward Grant's and look at his designs, you can see the designs around the inside. But we need to know size on the outside before we can create anything on the inside. Well, we can actually create on the inside and then close it like you close a roof. But the dice cube, although you see 9, really, we only need 4. Measurement, I only need 4. And then if I want to know the center of it, the centers of it, that's when you need more of the reality. Position number 9 is the center to all. But if we look at plywood, plywood is made linear, and everything seems to be made linear, and nothing's made in a square. It's made linear. Is there a possibility because things were chopped up? I asked that question, but I want to just get my hot water right now. Okay, so we did with the things with the finger and the center finger, which is the third and the eighth finger, what we just finished with. It only has two numbers. It's the center finger. It is no more from one end to the other end. And that's your 3 and 8. So whatever you want to call it. Let me see, RAM, memory RAM. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I didn't see that. Every time I come across this one channel, let me see, I can't see it on the left. I'm going to put it in the center. Every time I cross this one channel, I screen grab. When she flashes things, she's the one that was on here, mad, asking, who knows, are we on Mars, demanding for time to start again, and she deleted it. Okay. Well, I keep saying Earth was we're on Mars. It's actually we're on Earth. We're on Earth. I mean that's what I see today a little bit more every single day. I know I have a lot of pieces, but nothing is exact. It's about, because if I knew exactly, I would be able to explain the whole thing. So what I see is that here's Earth, okay, but because of the dice cube, right? Look what it's showing me. It's showing me it's divided right here in the center. Here's Earth. There's going to be 3 areas here and 3 areas here. Jesus Christ, 33, the pig's pregnancy, 7 months, 4 months, 1 month. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to go back up for a second, or I'm just going to continue on and then I'll back it up. So what happens is we're on Earth and it's different pods. Mars pod 1, Mars pod 2, Mars pod 3. And all the pods are on Earth. We live in a percentage of Earth, frozen in. So I have one of them is this, the Groundhog Day yesterday, where it's the 33rd day of the year, where there's 333 days till December 31st. There were 1 month of Valentine's. Valentine's, the first day of Valentine's, yeah, the 32nd day of the year, back to Ram. 4 is 30 days and 7 months of 31 days. It could be 31, 21, 7. 7 by 31 is 210 and 7, 217, 21 dots and 7 dots. They're talking about a complete ring, the ring in the pole. When you divide, it becomes 333, 1333, and 2333. Now the pig's pregnancy is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. February, when you write the word, is 96. It is in rotation. It is 8 times 12, 812. And all the ways that you can calculate what this is everything that goes with it. This is a reduced number. And then the word February came out from it. Valentine's Day is the 45th day of the month. It's the word 45 is fox. Fox's letters is OXOX, and hugs and kisses to everybody on the 45 angle. And that 45 angle, the first 45 angle, comes into the cat's house. And the reason for that is this line here, okay, can only go on the 45-degree angle in the square house, in the singular house, in the 1 dot house. Now, like I said, I can be going backwards or forward. I mean, since Mars has 1 line, I'm calling it Mars, the window. But it could be Earth, and you see, I could be wrong. It's the opposite, but one of the two. It's either this way or that way. Does it really matter? Absolutely not really, because it's not the house down the street. It's always going to be that Mars, Earth, Venus, and Mercury. The thing is, Mars is 2 parts Mercury, 1 part, 2 parts Venus, 1 part Mercury, in which Mercury is in both houses because it is in the center of the cube, right over here. There's only 1 in the center, and there is only 1 kind of 2 on the outside. There is no other. Every other one is a replica of. want to go out? Just give me a second. Come. 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 I know it's cold. If you want to, you're either meowing for nothing or what? Come on, I'm opening the door for you. Come. Come. Come on, you asked me you wanted to go out, now you stop meowing. Okay. So where were we? And I didn't even finish with deaf, that thing with DEF before. The thing about deaf, I'm going to just jump back on if you're still remembering I was on this, is that the broken up letters of the letter M is Deaf Federation. It's also backwards the Fed. It's short. Asian is actually nation. Sometimes we switch letters and words. This one would be the resident angel coming in through the sun, nation and ration. You can also look at it as ration. It has to be discussed. I just see it that way. I don't have a great explanation for it, but it's been done in other situations, feed, fed, and stuff like that. Not only that, this is the 10-10-10 world. M is 1,000 in Roman numerals, which is 10 by 10 by 10. You can also say 50 by 20, and that would also say Earth, and that would be 1070, the multiplication and the addition, but I just don't want to go into that right now. So we've done all this, right? We understood what the hand did. So you can go to that hand and to this hand. So the total over here, 11, 11, 16, and 6. So we have 11, 22. And then in this one, we have 13, 14, 15, 22. Look at that, 22, 22, it matches. It becomes 4 and 4 equaling to 8 and 16 equaling to 24. The division between night and day, 24, 24, equaling to 48, also equaling to ring and pole. And all of that is over here in Pluto. The ring is for Pluto and the pole. 22 and 22. What's missing? 11. 11, 22, 22. 3 and 8, creation. Again, back to hockey. You can't get it wrong. The math is absolutely perfect. It just bewilders me because I've never seen that before. And now it's going to be based on the game of hockey, where there's 3 periods of 20 minutes, A, B, C, where it ended and actually began in the overtime of the 4th period. The 4th period of 20 minutes is actually what is your mirror creation, is that overtime period. Now, the question is, you see, when God was creating, right? When God was creating, I mean, I'm just trying to see it this way. I'm looking at the countdown and not A, B, C, D. I'm looking at F, E, D in creation, 6, 5, and 4, fed creation instead of 1, 2, and 3. And also, if you're looking at A, B, C, I said I'm looking at F. I'm beginning at F. Everybody else is beginning at A. I'm counting down because it's an add-on. We're coming from somewhere. We're just being created and creating within our own world, ABC. But we're coming from down from the 7th gate. We're in the 8th heaven of the 7th gate for the 6th life of the one spirit in the house of Bait. In the house of Bait, controlled by DC. DC, 4 and 3 is hot. 4 and 3 hot. Hot, the usual color is red, feminine. Cold is number 34. Usually it's blue, masculine. But then blue is also known as Democrat, demolition. Red is also known as repossession and Republican. When you mix the red with the blue, you get purple, purple rain. You get Prince. You get number 88 for purple, purple in Pegasus, Pegasus number 88. Pegasus in the constellation 7286 in the divided house of the cat. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is what creates 6 and 8. I'm not sure which way I want to go with number 27 or 72, but I call that the house of bait. And even the artwork in itself, right? When I recreate this, what happens, let's see if I can do this. Hold on 1 second. Let me do it this way first. Yeah, we're going to do it this way. And what we have over here, right, is 2 hearts. 1 heart down here, and then we have 1 heart that's over here. A heart and a heart. And it comes up and it plugs into that station. Over here. These 2 corners are empty. Let me try and do that again. And then we're going to just see, it's these 3 and these 3. They come together. There's nothing over here and nothing over here, and they create a form within C on C, where X and X come together. You see, when they come together, you start to see more images. You see a plus sign over here. So this, you create this, and all of a sudden, through the house of bait, the hexagon cube is created. Okay, been busy, 1010, a ton lady. I'm just going to get off of this for the second, but if you want, I can just ask me and I'll go right away to Atlanta. It's no big deal, but this is not finished. I keep finding new stuff. I can never finish what I start. I wanted to talk about, I did a video the other day and I know exactly what I did, but to put it all back together and to talk about the voided area, every number in its position are telling a different story. You do it one at a time and you find what's going on and reason for the equation that is created, like the equation of 7 and 13, because of the position of 7 and 6, 13, and 4 and 3, 7, the Mayan stroke cycle. That's where 3 and 4 come together. Okay. Number 22. You know what? I try to say so much to Zach. I write on everybody's things like a cuckoo, and nobody says anything back to me. Nothing. I must have wrote 50 times. I stopped. I can't handle it. It's I see so many things, and I try to comment to help them broaden what they're doing. I can't even understand what they're doing because I don't know. I'm a little lost sometimes when they mention comparisons, but not making anything up. It's completely different, I think, than what I do, but it's very complementary. I think we complement each other very well, right? I mean, because the more information we have, the more we can expand the puzzle, the more we can give more form to the puzzle. And where did we get that last 22 from? I want to go over that so I get it. Yes, from the fingers. Okay, and hockey is 3 periods. And not only that, we have to understand games. In bowling, when you get to the 10th frame, you count the whole 10th frame together. But you don't do that anywhere else. You don't do that, and you don't get to play anything more unless you get a strike or a spare in the 10th frame. The strike is 1 times 10, and the spare is 2 times 5. 2 balls, 5 average. 1 ball, 10 average. 5 and 1, Mars reverses to what is 2 and 1, creation. The spirit in Venus creating Earth, life, and then we live in the pods of Mars. Not because of me, because the word And you know what? If somebody ever here puts the ring on somebody, and then forget about saying the word MAR. When you put the ring on, well, I'm going to do it marriage. We're going to take away MAR. Okay? We're just going to say RIDGE, RRGE. Forget about MAR in marriage. Tell me all the words that go with MAR to begin with, besides the invert of RAM. And how about, yeah, we just put that Hubble space up there, and now we got the arm, the RAM, the arm, Mars. The 13th card in the deck is the Queen. Note that to be number 8 and 16. That is where your 2/3 and 1/3 comes in that number 8. And the reason for that is the Queen has all her eyes. She's holding flowers and has all her eyes. So therefore, 4 suits, 2 eyes, 4 times 2, 8. And the invert mirror, 4 and 2, 8. So she has a total of 16 eyes. Now, 8 and 16, 2 different equations, 24. 4 times 4, 4 plus 4. The equation comes from the numeric value 84, which is ring, which is pole, which is a buy, which is sell, and Pluto. 7 times 12, 84. 7 times the gateway of what is creation, 1 and 2. A and B creating C, mirror C. So just let me find it. Sometimes I'm just talking and I'm not explaining it exact, and then when I do explain it, I lose my place. So I'm a little bit thirsty. Let me take a little drink here. I never know what I'm going to do because there's always something new. Somebody says one thing and I just right away. So that very important 3 and 8. 3 and 8. I'm trying to figure out where I was now with 1 and 2. Get that 1 and 2. See, I said what I said. I try to come here and try to make like I'm explaining it. And I was thinking about everybody else except for just the path I was on. Yes. The 6 sides of the cube is also 3 reverse sides. So this becomes a 3. 3 reverse sides. This cube actually says and can say by what do you call it? I need somebody to help me with this. By your interpretation. And the interpretation inside this cube, if it was made this way, okay, would be like this. Just give me 1 second. Interpretation. Lost my place again. Give me a second. There's 9 areas over here. I have to think. Just give me a second. Not that I didn't finish with this area over here. 3 and 3 came together and left an empty space here and an empty space here where a plugin comes in and fills this empty space, and now they can lock together. 1 there and then 1 over here. So we end up with 9, 7, 9. The pig's nose are on the outside of this over here. Okay, we can either count the pig's nose here, the pig's nose here. The thing about this is that, sorry, it's 8. There's 8 empty areas here. There are only 7 empty areas here, and there's 8 empty areas here, G and H. And I've been saying for a long time that it is the gateway. It is created through Q. 1 times 7, 1 plus 7 is what will make this equation, and it will total to 15. 7 and 8 is 15, and that is where 1/4 of Mars fits in. Part of the Earth, part of the Mars areas on Earth. Why? Because 15 or 15 seconds is 1/4 of 60. You can also look at it as 15 minutes if we were playing sports. And then we would have the sport of basketball, in which would be 12 minutes, and that's referring to Pluto, the house we live inside the gateway of Pluto. You can't always see the house. I have to understand that a little bit deeper. Pluto, the 9th house, the 9th birth, the ring and the pole connected to Mars, the 4th and the 9th planet. It is your 4 and 9 is your first 13. It is the first entry of man. You cannot make 13 until 4 and 9. You need 9 for your birth. You need D for the mirror world. It is either the C9 equaling to 12 female, or it's the 4-9. Everything divides here. in the house of DC. The red and the blue together create your purple. So they asked Neo Anderson, Neo, O-N-E, Anderson, D-N-A, Nus. DNA red Nus. One DNA sun. One our DNA red sun. Nos means our in French. SOS backwards DNA for Anderson. So it says one DNA red sun. And that red sun is number 37 or 73. It's Nibiru. That is the numeric value for Nibiru. By understanding in Beirut, we have to understand the word by, what the word by means. Just give me a second. Peace, Michelle, Fifi. You know, Fifi was the name of Mr. Howell. Hold on a second. Just let me do this over here. Let me. Mr. Thurston Howell III and their dog Fifi. 1 second. Let me see. I'm just looking for something. Okay, can't do it right now. Let me continue. I'm not sure who's here. Let me check out my channel here on that social network. Doesn't look like there's anybody here. The date is here. Joined. I'm just trying to look for my event. It says I didn't. Wow, reload page. No, I have to. I need to see if I'm showing on that social media page. Well, nobody showed up. I've been here an hour. That's okay. I'll give myself a love. It hurts. Okay, so yeah, okay. So we showed the cube over here. We showed 8 over here. But when you keep connecting them, okay, this is your first 3. When you connect your next one, okay, which I connected down here, we have this one over here and this one over here. So it will turn into what is 878 into 777. Because we're going to use up the corners on each one all the way down. And then after that, we're going to be taking off these corners over here. So what was 9 will not be 9 anymore. It will only be 5. Because 4 corners will be missing. And it'll just look like this. Like a universe or a universal joint. Okay, so we did this with hockey, overtime hockey, 3 periods, and it is 1 for the goal. It is 5. It is 5 players and 1 goalie, or whatever. 1 goalie, 5 players. It is 2 assists, and it is 1 goaler, 1 goaler, 1 goal, 1 goal, 2 assists. What else in there? So we're set. The setup here is the Mars setup 5 and 1. This would be the student. The reverse cube living on the gate would be 6 and 5. That would be the student of the 7th gate. The numeric value of 3 is 56. The numeric value of 7 is 65. 6 and 5 is 11. The only way to create 11 is through the opposite of what is 1 and 2. 1 is craps. They call it the 11 craps. And also this mathematics is going to say king and home. So within the arc that you are resident to, because we're not this hand moving. You're not this hand moving. This is the hand you're moving, but we are not this hand, but the hand we move. because I have a body, because I have a voice. Because the puppet is on the stage dancing around, the puppet moves its hand, but the commands are not from the puppet. The standard bred where the jockey is on the sulky, but in thoroughbred, the jockey is on the horse. So we're basically been instilled with this body, and in it, sitting inside of us, keeping it all together, is inside the soul. The operations of the command. So it's commanding me to do all these things. It knows all these things. It's not the hand that's deciding, but the commander. Commando, an expression, apparently is supposed to be something to do with nudity. So when I look at that word, nudity, I mean, just think of it. The IT system, okay, is never dressed. It's always flesh and bone. Empty space. Nothing in its way, nothing impeding it. So it's actually an expression word. So I want to go on to, so we did this little piece over here for those who didn't understand. We did the hockey 20-20 in 20 minutes, 1200, 1200, 1200. Is that what it is? Yeah. 1200? 120, 120, 120. Yeah, we did it. 360 degrees. 120, 120, 120. If we add the fourth period, it becomes 480. So now we're into what is 4 periods. We're now into basketball. Where do I get these numbers from? 60 seconds, 20 minutes, 1200, 3600 turns, 36, a completion of a circle. There are 4 times 360 degrees in a day, 1440 minutes. But how did we get to the 360? Was it 3 times 120? Or was it 4 times 90? 3 and 4. That's where we come out from. And it's ironic. It's ironic. I think that's the word we're going to use. It's ironic that, first let me mark 4 periods, 20 minutes. It's ironic. What was ironic? That the word 1 equals to 3, 4. The word 6 equals to 5, 2. So if I took this and I put the 1 on one side, just to show you, and the 6 on the other. Here's your 1, here's a 6. So here's a 5, and the opposite of 5 is a 2. 5 and 2. 6 holds that number. And the 1, okay, and the 1 is there 3. Sorry, 3 on this side and 4 on this side. That's all you're missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a run. It's told right inside the dice. 4 periods, 20 minutes. That is 80 minutes. 420. Hold on a second. 20 minutes times 60 seconds equals to 1200 times 3 equals to 360 or 3600, or 12 times 4 equals to 48. This would be a complete basketball game. Here, it's inside the sun, electric company in the sun. I'm going to explain it to you because based over the time that I've been doing this, I see what the numbers seem to say. So when we add these up, it becomes 3 and 3, and that is a rotation passive of the sun. The mathematics create 9 and 6. The 9 and 6 creates a 9, creates a 6. Now it looks like the percentage side 8. 8 is what divides. And now when we complete the skeleton, it ends up looking like that. So it looks like there's a an entry going this way. You see the angle of my pen? Let me see if I can show you that. Looks like that there's an angle going this way, right? And then it looks like the other one is going that way, right? See the way that goes that way and that way, so it creates that design. Let me see if there's any other thing inside of this. There's your 6 star. So what was square straight is now running. The passage between the gateway is now running this way. Lamed, Lamed. Now I'm not sure if is this going to create the. Just trying to see if there's a. Trying to see what's inside of that. Okay, so let me get a little bit more of. I need a little bit of water. Need a little bit of water. If anybody has any questions, if you don't understand what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, well, you know what? We're going to jump to Atlanta after I get my glass of water, but I'm going to explain to you what I do. It's all up to you whether you believe, whether you understand. What I have learned over the last almost 20 years is when I look at an object, which I didn't create, I want to know if I can see any stories inside of it. So one of the stories I see with this is if this is a cube and there's a 1 dot, I see a 1 dot, but I see 8 around it. So now I'm looking for confirmation. So I take this, which is the same 9, and I want to get 1 around it. So I now have a side of 1 and 8. I know on the opposite side on this cube is 6 and 1. 6 and 1. So when I look at the 6 side and I put it to the 6 side, there are 3 empty positions. Here's a 1 position, and here's 8. This is 1 and 8. Let's call it Rahi. And then in this one, which one is it? Oh, yeah, this one here, which is 2 and 7. This is the house of Bait. Beg. This one over here is 2 and 7. This one over here is 3 and 6. This one over here is 4 and 5. This one over here, I'm just going to do the 6 first, and then I'm going to do the 5. And in fact, when you look at the 5, you see what you created? You created the pentagram right over here. You go down here, down into the center of the X. Let me show it to you again if we can put this light on it. Okay, so if we can get this light on it, we're going to do it 2 sizes. Okay, I'm going to make it bigger. Now that one goes there, not here. Then one goes here. I hope I don't lose what I'm thinking about every time I go off track. So yes, and then we're going to do one into the center, right? So when we run this one in here, we end up creating this image. And then we create the same image on this side, and then the same image here, and the same image over here. So your octagon is actually the the pentagram times 4. So it's 5 times 4. It becomes the IT system and the birth, because the full mathematics will create 09, which is it. And then this is going to create what is the letter R and K. K11, 29, it becomes that birth. This becomes 3. This becomes 3. And this becomes 8. Oh my God, I can't believe it. How so? I'll tell you. This is what just happened. 5 times 4, 20. 5 plus 4, 9. 9 times 2, 18. 9 plus 2, 11. The 11th letter is K. The 18th letter is R. The reverse is I9. The reverse is 16P. But we won't work with that. What I'm working with is this. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1, 2 and 1, 3. 1 times 8, 1 plus 8, 9 plus 8 equals to 17Q, which equals to 1 and 7, 8. So we now have where our 1/3 creation comes from. Now, since our dice cube have 3 sides, we have the 1 reversed to 6. We have 8 empty spaces. Here we have 3 and 6 empty spaces. I'll circle all the empties. And this is number 5, right? So when I connect this one with this one, I get 1 and 6 dot equaling to 7, and 3 and 8 equaling to 11 void. In the 2 and 7 over here, right? In the 2 and 7 over here, let me see where I am. Yeah, okay. The 2 and 7 over here, we're going to go to the 4 and 5. And here you have 7 and 11. And now we're going to go over to the 3. We're going to go over to the 3 and the 6. But it's actually 3, 3, 3 because it's divided over here. This one over here only comes together like this. It's this one and it's this one. It's 2 little hearts. So when they come together, this one comes together, and then it comes together with this one over here. And when they come together, there's an empty space in the center, and there's 2 areas untouched. I can put it the other way also. I could put it this way for the next one. And then the next one, I'm going to put it this way. And then the next one, I put it this way. Why? Because the leap year is 313. So if I'm moving 3 one way, the next year turns around the other way. And then I'll go 333. Can I do it down here? How do I connect them? I don't know yet. And should I be putting 3 areas? Well, I can't put more. One area would be a 3. The other area would be a 5. So when 3 and 5 come together, it might be telling a story that one side holds the heart, and possibly they interchange. Just want to see what this looks like. Looks like some kind of tower. Where else? Yes. So now the next one would be 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, and it would be 7 and 11. Where do I see this? With the 3, okay, the 3, 9 areas. 9 areas. When I'm using up 3, doesn't matter which, there are 6 left over. When I'm using up 2, there are 7 left over. When I'm using up 1, there's 8 left over. And here it is, and this is the result. 7 come 11, 77 and 18, 77 and 18, 77 and 18. So it becomes 595959. I'm just looking at different things. What I just did for 5 is I added it up to a single digit. And 5 and 9, I mean, 5 and 9 is 4 and 2, 5, 5 and 4, 9. Set up that way, it's made that way. So then you have all of this. Now, if I multiply 7 by 7 by 7, I get 343, or how about CDC, the house of DC, the red and the blue coming together causing purple rain, or they came apart causing the cold and the hot to play against each other. So games people play, right? So the 11 by 11 by 11 is 1331. And how do we get this? By creating 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, or 2 and 1 or 2 and 1. And either it'll say ALA or it'll say AUUA. And both of these stand for gold. This stands for artificial intelligence. Have you ever seen the movie Reboot and they went to Al's Diner? Your first creation of 11 is in the IT system, because 2 and 9 equals to 11, but it is not complete without the single dot spirit that sits in the center. This average of 5, there's 9 areas. When you add up the 9 areas, it equals to 45, but it is 40 blue planet Earth around the E world 5. Now the question is, we might see area 5, but we might be starting the whole game over here with 2 houses that connect, overlap. I would have to overlap my cubes, but for some reason I seem to be all thumbs. And every time I come to do something, I need to see a little bit more. I feel like, anyways, let's go back to that. Did we finish with that puppet, who we are? I have to get something to drink and see that I didn't lose my place. You have a question? I saw Call Me Yams ask what was going on. That's why I got into that rant. If there's somebody new here that doesn't know what I do and you want to know, just ask. You have to ask. I'm trying to hit up, and when I see somebody pop on, I always try to tell them what I'm doing, because I don't know who they are, and if what they might know, what they, I don't know, something like that. Okay. You know what I'm going to do right now, because I'm not sure where I am. And yeah, so it's 11, 8 and 11, 8 and 11. We're not going to get into the roulette. What I'm going to do is show you Atlanta. So many things to do, eh? So many things to do. One side of is AB creation. The other side is the high creation. Now, the high creation, I just noticed it right now. You see, I just noticed it over here, right here. You see, we have 365.47 time. Even though it's 2.5, here it shows 4.7, and the extra 22 might be some kind of overlap of some sort where it goes faster and slower. It took 22 to get here. Well, you only see 11, but why 22? Yes, because it should be, say, 0.25, and 2.5 is Earth, and you get 22 to life or monkey, because we had to start with 12. Please ask me before I start to rant. Everything begins at 12. After that, we are what is going to be linking 13, 14, and 15 together. King and queen come into the sun and become the student. That's what this is telling me here. The man and the woman inverts again to the man and the woman. The queen and the king is man and woman, bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah. But what happens is year ending the 12th year. On your 12th birthday is year ending the 12th year. Happy birthday to you is when the year ended. You are beginning the 13th year. This is F for female. And this is going to be M for male, where the female now becomes 7, to where the girl was once 12, and now the female is 7, to where the boy was once 13, to where now the male is now 14, 9, and this would be the son, and then it would be the student. The IT over here would be the student. The mathematics of 1 times 5, 1 plus 5 equals to 6 and 5, 11. 1 and 1 equals to 2. That's why I marked that number over here. And also what happens, 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 is 5 and 4, and this is 11. So this would be what is 9, 11, 14 and 15 is not actually 9, 11. Even though you don't see it, but the math says what it is. The house of bait. Do you follow what I'm saying? The male, when you celebrate that 13th birthday, those 13 years are done. You're living in the 14th year. So the bar mitzvah is on 14, into the sun. That's where man in the moon comes in. Very funny, eh? Do you know why man on the moon? Because the word man equals to 28, and the cycle of man, okay, is the cycle of what the number of the moon is. Always saying man, but man is number 2. That's where I like to look at it. See, man is a single syllable. Woman is a double syllable. Female, 2. Feminine, well, certain words, not all of them, because girl and boy are not. But that's the way I'm seeing it right now. And 3.14159265. Six and 5, 11, 9 and 2, 11. This total over here equals 29. It becomes 11, 11, 11. I showed you something about Allah before when it was 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 equals to 1 equals to 2, and the 12th letter is an L. So 11 by 11 by 11 says Allah, or 1221 if you want to look at it that way. Where am I in this? Where am I in this? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I was doing this over here. I was going to go to Atlanta. I think I'm going to leave this alone right now. Let me see if I still have Atlanta somewhere. Did we go over this before I go to Atlanta? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The numeric value for each one of these. I didn't do the full math on it, right? I didn't do the full math, but if I did the full math, that's the full math. 19, 53, 41, 6, 14. See, N and Z come together right over here. N and Z in the sun, within the sun, the passage in the sun, N and Z. So N comes to Z, N comes to Z. So this is what you get. When I comes to H, when I comes to H, you end up with this. Or if you do it the other way, you end up with this. Over here, you can't do it because it comes out to the same thing. But what you can do with this one is create X within O in the center. And then you can have the angled house, right? The angle of Earth, 23 point something. If you multiply it by 2, it equals to 47. Energy, time, Jesus. Also, the mathematics equals to what is the gateway 17Q, cycle of man and birth. And then 28 plus 11 equals to 29. Again, back to the IT system that we just spoke about on the other page. Yeah, so I'm going to just go through this quick because I didn't do this before. 17, 41, 49, 14. Just let me take a look what the number is. 1, 8. Just trying to see what this one is over here. 1, 8, 5, 6, 14, 5, 17, 8, 5, 4, 5. Did I get this right? 1, 8. Okay. So we have, let me see. I want to see what happens. We have an 8. We have an 8. We have a 5. We have a 5. We have a 5. We have a 5. And then we have a 1, 4, 6 that is left over. So let me just explain this now. Number 1 into a single digit of its original count, ONE equals 34. TWO is 58. So 3 and 4 is 7. 5 and 8. 5 and 8 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. This is 11. 1 and 1 is 2. 6. 4 and 2 is 6. 5 and 2 is 7. 6 and 5, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. 4 and 9, 13. Man. Okay. The number 9 and the number 5, they divide the gate of the cat. The half-life. 8 and 6, the house planet. 8 and 6, and the cat divides it with 2 and 4. 8 and 6, and they divide into Mars, 5 and 1, the queen, the game. We're 8 and 6, or 6 and 8, divided by the divided space of 44, division of night and day through the sun, sun up. The percentage of the heavens divide because of the design I just showed you. The 8 with 6 and 9, and I completed the formation. So what happens is 1 and 6 is 7. 4, 5, and 9 are 6. 2 and 8 are 44. 14, 8, and 9. NRH, I don't know what it says. Harin. This one here says dean, like in teacher. Where do I get this? The 14th letter, the first letter, the fourth letter. The total is 5, the E. Here, the total is 9I, 18R. 10 and 8 equals J and H, as 8 equals H, as 1 equals A. So it'll give me these base letters here. The mathematics will give me to this over here, referring to the student in the sun. It's the only number. And remember, we go at 360 degrees. These are the only two letters in this house. 3 times 6, 18R. 3 plus 6 equals 9R, equals to the famous 27, born into the sun in the house of Bate. 6 by 6 by 6 equals to 216. Our passing gate is the moon. 21 dots, 60 seconds. The reason I say that its moon diameter is this, which is 1.5 times 1440 minutes in a day. Mars is that 1.5. We live on Earth, the Mars quarters. Mars quarters, each one its own zone. Each one its own zone, 1 and 5, 1 and 5, even though the planet is 5 and 2, Earth, the electric planet. The E world. So where else am I with this? We also have 18. This will be 234. And bingo, we get our vibration from this. Multiplied and added. Multiplied and added. Multiplied and added. It becomes a division of night and day, and it becomes it in thirds. 2 and 8 is the cycle we run. 8 equaling to 49. 2 equaling to 58. The total is 10, 7. JG, I like to say Jack God. I like to say it's created. This number is the Q gate. It's also 1/3 of Mars. 17 by 3 equals to 51. In order to get formation before the mirror is created, it's 3. And then we just need the 2 walls. We need 3 parts and 2 parts to create this. DC coming together. Or how about DC coming together inside the letter, which is the H, which is also Heinz. How come? Well, we have this, and now we just connect this for Z. And we have this side of the ace, and now we just connect this for N. And we got this in the ace. So we can either have it when you're in the bed lying down or when you're up. So we turn it this way, or we can just have our creation this way on this angle, the angle of the Earth tilt. Did you ever see where we get, since Mars is a singular line, we get one line through Mars. And since Earth has 2 lines, we can put 2 lines. In this one, it'll turn it into 9-6. In this one, it'll turn into 9-8-6. See that? Well, this is supposed to go a little bit. See the 6, see the 8, see the 9. 9-8-6. Rotation in the sun, divided gates, born into the high gate. You know, the high gate. 89. H and I, the bricks. Moses laid the bricks. So we put the bricks out, but now the form of the bricks create the 5 and create the 2. So we're going to use a few more bricks. And in this bricks over here, we're just going to go with this line over here, and this line over here, this line over here, this line over here. And you have created the H and the I. You can also look at that as 101. Separation, this brick will separate these two, but here it'll come together. So that's that. The other thing is 1 times 8, 1 plus 8 equals to 9 equals to 8 equals to 17. The other way to do that is 5 times 2, 5 plus 2 equals to 10 equals to 0, 7 equals to 17. 10 with 9, 8, and then 7. So the outside is 52. It is earth and the heart. And the inside is H and I, which is the heavens of the birth. This is where the cube comes in with the 1 dot and the 8 that's around. And even in mathematics, it works out. Because if I went 5 times 1 equals to 5, 5 times 8 equals to 40. What happened here is we went from 1 over to 5, we went plus 4. We went 8 over to 4, we went minus 4. They're both the same. If I was counting up, it would be different. I would have to add on 5. Counting down, 5. Counting up, 4. Why? If I minus 4, I get the 4. If I add 5 to 8, it's 13. 1 and 3 is 4. So 4. I'm going to get another glass of water. Just give me a minute. I seem to be all alone right now, but that's okay. I'm going to do Atlanta right now because nobody's left. Okay. Going to do Atlanta and tell everybody Atlanta was right at the end. I can't believe I didn't do Atlanta. Okay, here's Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm not going to do anything more. The word Georgia can also be used as the word George. 7 5 33 7 5 12 33 12 3 3 3 3. Atlanta can be marked this way. So it's a double male. It's a coming in, right? They're meeting right over here. I'm not sure if you want to say anal, but it looks like they're plugged up somewhere in Atlanta. Atlanta also for land communication. Georgia is also connecting towards the moon and something to do with the rotation in the sun. These numbers over here. Electric company in 75. When you reduce them, they become 1925, area space in Earth's heart. AI in the house of bait. The reason I say this is because I reduced this. I divided this by 3 and I divided that by 3. I add them together. It's 44 area space. A division of night and day because the mathematics will create 16 and 8. 1/3 and 2/3. This is the house we live. 7, 4, and 1. Let's not get into that. Then after that, this creates a 1 and this creates a 7, and that's the Q gate of AI. This after that, the multiplication, okay, will create this. I should do the addition and the multiplication, right? And we'll end up with 5, 6, and 5. And I'm not going to get into that. It turns into 1111. It turns into 150, which is Mars. Let me do the whole thing because it's one side and the other side. So it's 41 and 41 equaling to 82 or the cycle. Let's not get into 28 because there's too many. Anyways, Atlanta is just a form of IT communication, electric company passing through what is instead of Georgia. You see, I don't want Georgia. I'm just going to but Georgia 3, it also for gold. Gold represents number 38, 1/3 and 2/3. So again, it's hooked up to some sort of tri-system. Here's Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. That is the reason I spoke about Atlanta, Georgia communications. The LAN line, the T can be like a D. If the T is like a D, it would be to add LAN, T. A T is also a gateway. And the gateway is the T minus the. I'm tired. No excuse. So when you don't know it perfectly. T minus counting. T and G are the reverse of each other. They are the point of the pyramid, depending on which way that pyramid is, and also to be discussed. But Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. I see somebody just showed up. If you have something to ask me, but I'm going to be getting off for now. Maybe come back a little bit later. I guess not. Ciao.